Hi guys, it's Mateen here back on TENET Productions podcast. It's TENET Talks, and I'm here joined with a photographer. Now, funnily enough, guys, we're gonna be touching up on this, but your network is your net worth. So if you're not out there meeting and greeting people, especially if you're in the creative industry, you're not doing it right, guys. You need to get out there. You need to network. That's one of the most important things. And I'm here, Maggie's house. She's I'm so grateful that she's accepted me to come into her home and film a little podcast. And we're gonna deep dive into Maggie Robinson, if you haven't already come across her, and what she does, how she got started, the tips and tricks she would provide for us. And I'm so humble because Maggie she's won various amount of awards in the industry for shooting photographies. So if you're a photographer, guys, you need to stay tuned for this podcast. Okay, Maggie, what are you saying? How are you?
Very good, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's lovely to be here and to spend some time with you.
Likewise. And Maggie, I just want to touch up on how we met. So how we met, guys, is I sent Sanjay Jogi. I don't want to put him into the limelight because this podcast is not about him, but I dropped him a message and I wanted to do a bit of work for him as a content creation, and that's how I come across yourself. And we did a bit of photography and everything together as well at the wedding. I liked your energy, I liked your vibe, and yeah, and again, I'm just so happy that we connected and then being in your Zoom meeting as well the other day, talking about AI and these new softwares, which we will touch upon. It's just stunning. And yeah, Maggie, let's just start from the beginning. So what got you into being a photographer?
I just want to say I'm so glad you messaged Sanjay, because we probably the best thing that ever happened from that message. There we go.
Thank you.
I started photography about 11 years ago now, when my daughter was born. I had a shoot, I had a few different sessions with her, newborn sessions, baby sessions, and the experience wasn't maybe always what I was looking for. I imagined those sessions to be slightly different, maybe slightly more variety, and being the ambitious woman that I am, I spent the next few months thinking how could that be improved in terms of that customer service, customer experience overall, for parents of young kids to have exactly what they wanted from the shoots, because I felt like I was slightly shortchanged on certain things. So about 6 months after my daughter was born, I slowly got into photography. I mean, I photographed everything for years. I was one of those people that after holidays, I was coming back with 12,000 photos from 1 week trip. So I was always with camera in everyone's face. And it was a natural progression, I would say, from a hobby to something that turned into professional
nice.
work. Yeah, so I always enjoyed it. Still enjoy it. It's something that I absolutely love doing. My background is in finance, so for years I used to work as a financial advisor. And for those of you who've ever worked in finance, you know, if there is hell, this is where all the financial people are going to go. So shooting, working in a photography environment, it's so much better for the soul. It's such a nice profession, so I absolutely love it.
Nice. Let's touch upon your niche, Maggie. So what is it you're currently photographing now?
So I started with newborns. So newborns were my sole source of income for about 2 years at the beginning. And then I kind of widened the scope to babies, 6-month-olds, and then families. And where I found my passion is families, massive families with kids who would probably be classed as problematic to most people. I love all kids that are a nightmare. Bring them to me. I have all the patience. The harder the session, the better for me. I actually thrive when it comes to sessions that are slightly difficult. Maybe those will be children that other photographers wouldn't want to photograph because they take a bit more time, require a bit more patience, and then I absolutely adore those sessions. The tougher session, the better for me. So I think families right now are the core of my business. And then it's newborns, maternity, babies, and commercial as well.
Okay, nice. So do you do like freelancing as well? So because I met you at a wedding.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you do weddings. How do you like weddings?
I was helping Sanjay at that wedding. wouldn't say I'm particularly wedding photographer. That's why I was so full of energy and love, because this is something new for me. I wouldn't say I've got massive experience when it comes to weddings, but it's a completely different ball game. Studio is so predictable. I mean, you can plan things and it's predictable. Yeah. You know what the outcome you're going to get. With weddings, obviously, everything's on the fly. You have to think on the spot. I mean, at one point at one of the weddings, I found myself lying on the floor, shooting up with someone about to have their heel kind of stuffed in my face, and I thought, this is not a studio environment, this is actually completely different. So definitely 20,000 steps a day, the wedding. 100%. You play with all the kids play, you know, socially it's amazing. So I really enjoy it. I really enjoyed it. Hopeful to do a bit more of that.
Besides the photography with the children, you also have your own little training as well as seminar as well. Could you
quite early on when I started photography, I look at things logically. So how can I sell my work? And it didn't even crossed my mind that I could send someone galleries and things like this. I thought I'm going to bring them back to the studio, show them what we've done, and ask them to pick their favorite images. And that was something logical. So then I thought, what we're going to do with those images, and we started talking about wall art, started talking about products. And that was about 2 years into photography, so that's quite early on, when I joined some of the groups online, photographer groups, and I was showing the wall art that I sold, and everyone was asking, how do you sell so much wall art? I'm like, did you guys not sell wall art? We're not doing the same thing? And turns out photographers don't actually sell that much wall art, and for me this was a natural progression. Always throughout my life, whatever I was doing, I was always sales environment. Yeah. So whether it's finance or something else, I was always selling. So selling wall art was a natural progression from what I was doing in terms of studio work, and I started talking about how I approach it, so my workflow in terms of sales, and then half a year later I ended up having a workshop with a large group of photographers. They all found it useful. I thought, this is something that comes naturally to me, but obviously maybe not that naturally to other people. And after a while I recorded a massive training bootcamp when it comes to full process of sales. So from consultation, getting to know clients, through the process of shooting for wall art, and then meeting and selling big pieces. So I love it. I love teaching. I could teach day in, day out. It's something that comes naturally to me, and I have a platform called Tog Academy, and we do presets for photographers, we do contracts, but mainly we teach sales. So if you're a photographer that's starting out or maybe you offer galleries, but you don't really offer in-person sales, this is where you start. I'll take you from the get-go, from the beginning, throughout the whole process, so you gain confidence and you can actually sell massive pieces of wall art to your clients.
That's absolutely stunning. I mean, let's talk about, let's say there's a brand new photographer that's just picked up a camera today. Or let's even better. Let's say if you were to start your photography business today, how would you start it and why? And what things would you do differently?
So, data. I mean, you probably expect me to say something very artsy and creative, but data is where I would start. So collecting data, because as a photographer, you don't just want to see people once, you want to see them throughout the whole journey. So you need to get the contact details properly. You need to note down the names of kids, date of birth, you know, all the hobbies, anything that they're into, full description. CRM is the word that I would say. CRM is where you start. No matter if it's today, you know, if you're starting out, you've been doing it for years. Proper CRM, it's the core of everyone's business, so as boring as it sounds and not arty. So I use light blue, very featured, and that's where I would start. So getting everyone's data and then getting into workflows. So if I photograph someone as a maternity client, I would like to automate the message after a few months saying, have you booked your newborn session with us? And then 6 months later, have you got your baby session with us? 2 years later, 3 years later, family session, and so on. Because if you think about it, if you don't get your regular clients back, you need to start advertising. And advertising to general public costs a lot of money, obviously. Facebook ads, you know, Google ads. So by the time a new person comes to you, they'll probably cost you about 50 quid in ads alone, if you think about it. If you get back a regular client, it's much cheaper because you already have them on your books. They trust you. It's a hot lead essentially, and it's easier in terms of service as well. So data, new photographers, name, surname, hobbies, anywhere, where they live, what they're into, if they drink soy, you know, latte, milk, and things like this. Everything, write it down, because when people come back, everyone wants to feel special. And I would say in the current day and age, what it is, everyone gets treated like a number. You go to GP, your number, you go to school, your number. And if someone actually comes back to you and say, are you still into your, you know, vegan latte with frappuccino? And they look at you and think, this is so nice that someone actually remembers. Obviously, if you shoot 500 people a year, you're not going to remember that, but you have all that data in your CRM, and it makes people feel more special, and they trust you more. And what happens later on, let's say they see someone cheaper down the road, And they're not going to go to that person, hopefully, because they feel like you know them as a family. They've started that process with you. They invested that time, and they feel like they're at home when they're in your studio, whereas they go somewhere else and they need to start all this from scratch. And also the way I teach, actually, this is not even on the subject of this question, how I get people to come back. I talk a lot about continuity images as well. So let's say you come to me for a maternity session and I'll shoot specific color and specific setup. And I want those people to come back for a newborn shoot. Obviously, they can go somewhere cheaper. I mean, anywhere pretty much is cheaper. So I need to make sure I try really hard for them to come back. So I'll say to my clients, when, and words are really important, not if, when you come to me for your newborn shoot, we're gonna shoot exactly the same setup with the same color, but with you holding your baby as opposed to holding your belly. And suddenly they think, I can't go anywhere else because Maggie started this process with me. She knows my, soy latte, and she also knows that color that I want, the continuity images that we're going to do. And I tell them about the wall, setup that we're going to have, the wall art collection. We're going to have this maternity of you in sage, and we're going to have a newborn, you holding the newborn in that same sage dress. They're not going to go anywhere else because I already have this plan for them. So it's almost like playing chess. It's not about today, it's about all the other sessions moving forward as well, all the other sessions. So I talk about that a lot.
Amazing.
Well.
Yeah, I like that. I like the fact, it's similar to a book that I read recently, How to Win Friends and Influence Others. I'm guessing you've read that book.
I not only read that book, I used to give that book to my students after workshops. Absolutely amazing, it's classic. So for anyone who's not read it, this is where you start your life, essentially. It's the main book in everyone's life. Old but good.
Maggie hasn't, I don't know Maggie that well, so Maggie hasn't even told me. I'm just like figuring this stuff out as I go, but I know everything she's mentioned about the clients, getting to know the clients, the rapport, making sure that they're not a number, but they are someone special in your life, in your business. That's exactly what Dale Carnegie teaches, and you just literally and if you provide that into your business and go one step further, always over deliver, in my opinion. Because then the clients will remember that for the rest of their life. What I do is to try and over deliver. I'll try and get a few words off people, off the guests in the wedding. So like the bride's mother and father, the groom's mother and father, the auntie, the friends, the cousins. I'll try and get a few words that they can put onto the wedding film, and they can just watch it and either laugh or cry. And it's just a little added touch where they will remember that for the rest of their lives. Because a lot of weddings in the Asian community, especially in the Asian community, it's just B-roll. Music over the wedding film, and there's no like voiceovers, there's no speech. Well, there's maybe a little speech, but it's very rare. But to have that more of an added touch, and they don't expect it as well. Exactly. So this is over delivering is where it's at, because everyone can tick boxes and give you what you pay for, but going that extra mile sometimes, it's so important, because that's your final touch with the client. When they get to know you, your first impression, very important. Obviously, delivering the product, very important. But if you mess up at the end, all this doesn't matter. Exactly, all that.
But if you show them that little thing, actually, I've created this for you. I know maybe you didn't even pay that extra for it, but this is especially for you because this is a big day. They will remember that bit. 100%. And even in the process, you might have had tough moments when something didn't go as planned. They won't remember that. They will remember that good feeling, good feeling at the end. This is actually specifically for consultation for me. I teach students quite a lot when it comes to consultation, to sit down with clients and have a chat. And that's an extension of what we're just talking about, because sometimes you have families when they're really difficult. So let's say someone books in, you can actually book through my website, it's all automated, but I'm the photographer, I say, actually, I don't have time to sit down with you and have a chat what you want. I know what you want, you look at my work, you probably want something like this. And then they come to you for a shoot, and it turns out kids are difficult. So that's the first impression. They walk into my studio, kids are all over the place, and I panic because I feel I need to deliver those images, but the kids are a nightmare, And all that client is going to remember is me struggling with a difficult situation. Now, if I was to sit down with them, have a consultation, and actually show them, look, I'm a nice person. Before we start the chaos, look, I can handle a lot of things. This is the first impression that's really good. And then when we have the viewing, we sit down in peace, and that's your last impression. So it's almost that sandwich that you close with good feelings, the same as you said with those little things. That's actually what matters. I know the wedding's important, that 10, 12 hours, but actually what they will remember is that last bit. And the first bit and the last bit, the opening and the closing.
Right.
Yeah.
I like how you said face-to-face as well, because a lot of the times, especially in the day and age of digital era, where people just use Google Meets and Zoom, a lot of the times I speak to the videographers and photographers, when they're doing the consultation, it's either on the phone or on a Google Meets. With myself, I try and do, even if they're in London or Leicester. For example, my last client was in Birmingham. I actually went to Birmingham, drove there, and when they decided they wanted to go ahead with the booking, I met them. You just literally had like a half an hour, 40-minute meeting. But it goes to show, like, I will travel the distance, and I will, even if it's, for me, it's a day at the office. I'll just take it as a day at the office. I'll chill, I'll relax, I'll go get a drink and some food around Birmingham. There's nice spots there for food. I mean, I'm a foodaholic, if that's what you call it. I apologize for the mix of vocabulary. I love my food. I love trying different foods and flavors and
I'm going to use that foodaholic. I've never.
There's chocoholic, alcoholic food. I love food. It's actually my kryptonite. That's why I'm not in shape, guys. But yeah, so I'd go and meet them in person.
It's body language,
Definitely.
You sell on body language. I always say to students, if you just send the form, you're just like everyone else, and it's very impersonal. If you call them slightly better, Zoom, ever so slightly better, and sometimes you have to do Zoom because you physically can't meet them, but if they can come to your studio, you come to them, that's, it's really hard to replicate that. If you think about it, that just shows that you're obviously paying attention, but also that you're willing to listen.
Definitely.
And that's something that disappeared as a quality when it comes to interactions in 2025. If you think about it, what happens right now, and that everyone's gonna agree, you go for a drink with your friends, they monologue about their life, and you just wait for a gap so you can monologue about your life. And you're trying to remember something you're going to say because there's so much noise that you're going to forget, so you don't actually focus on what they're saying, you focus on what you're about to say. And this is what happens to clients, everyone's monologuing, no one actually listens. So when you sit them down during consultation and actually say, I genuinely want to know, what do you want from your session? And not just colors or something, actually what do you want to achieve in terms of feel of that shoot or video? And listen, and pay attention, actually make notes. They feel, oh, this is great, they pay attention. And we always look smarter in someone's eyes when we listen to what they've got to say and actually understand, listening with understanding as opposed to just listening, and then bring it back throughout the shoot. Because what happens, and a lot of photographers, when they say, oh, clients come for my style, let's say they shoot everything in white. I don't need to do consultation because they came to me because they want the white images. Sometimes they'll come to you because you have the skills as a photographer.
Definitely.
And you need to pick that up during consultation, because I will shoot in a certain way, but I'll still have that consultation, because sometimes they're going to say to me, Maggie, I know you like your crisp images, but I would like something fine art. I don't even shoot fine art, but you know what? I have the skills to do it if that's what they want. So I'll have that consultation to know exactly that when I deliver that gallery, we have the viewing, I will monetize that because I've listened to every single bit of request, even if it's crazy. I don't judge. Crazy request, if I can make it happen, I'll make it happen in order for them to love every single image. So it's not for me, I don't shoot for me, I shoot for them.
Oh, nice. What's the craziest?
How long have you got?
Let's talk about the craziest situation.
The craziest I can mention. I mean, we had clients from South America who had a newborn shoot, and in South America you celebrate Day of the Dead.
Okay, wow.
And we had the whole session stylized, I would say for British audience in Halloween style, but it's not actually quite Halloween. We had skulls, we had death, we had dark colors, and that was for a newborn shoot.
Okay, wow.
So slightly different to normal session. And I remember listening to this, and I thought this is actually quite something. We have a lot of that, it's very personalized sessions as well. I had a lady who came to me, I absolutely love that session. I always say, is there something specific, any family heirlooms, anything you would like to include in your session? And standard is, veils from weddings, guitar, things like this. And she said, I actually have a box of buttons. I bought a box of buttons, what? Tell me the story. And when she was little, her grandma used to give her those buttons to play with, because they didn't have much, they didn't have toys and things like this. And the buttons still smell of old home. And it reminds her of comfort and something good. So she wanted to use those buttons with her newborn shoot. So we actually made the name of the baby out of the buttons, and we showed that as an image. So that's something, it makes that session specific to them. So it's not, cookie cutter, that's another session, same in and out, in and out. I want to know how they met, how, as a couple. I had a couple who met on the first day of lottery, when the lottery got introduced in the UK, and they got a ticket, and actually all the couple, and they had this ticket during a shoot, and this is when we met on the first day of the, when the lottery was released.
Just an added touch, yeah.
Yeah, something that, it's just, this is your thing, that's your thing. So I photograph a lot of specific sessions as well. But obviously we do quite a lot of just standard family ones as well.
I'm guessing there's no two shoots to shame. No two shoots to shame.
Never.
Everything's
never.
different.
It's always different. I'm trying to make sure that I just keep it interesting.
Yeah. You don't want to keep it boring.
And this extends to, for example, workshops as well. A lot of photographers, when they teach family posing, so I teach family posing as well, they pick models, people who are professionally ready to pose and everything's perfect, it's all pre-organized. I pick the most challenging families. I pick families that no one would even want to photograph, because I want to make sure that's something that they will always remember. It's an extreme situation, and for photographers to land on the worst case scenario. And we actually had a situation when I had 6 kids. One was covered in snot on the floor, one was screaming somewhere in a corner, one was banging on the door, wanted to go. And I said to the students, we will have a gallery of 15 images, but just look at the situation right now, because I turned it around. So this is the extreme that we kind of go to. Easy is boring, just not do easy. And also situations like this will happen to photographers. We want to make sure that we teach them the worst case scenario, so when they have easy session, it's just easy.
Yeah, I mean, you don't learn from struggle. The same with anything in life.
You learn from struggle, yeah.
You learn from struggle. Yeah. Sorry, you don't learn from it being a walk in the park. Yeah. If it's a walk in the park, like for example, when you hit the gym, you don't actually grow if you're not pushing yourself. Yeah. But if you're pushing yourself, then you grow. And it's the same with business actually. It's similar sort of mindset to having there. I have this feeling. Yeah, every wedding I am a bit nervous. There's a bit of nerves inside me.
Stage.
Yeah, exactly. I'm very nervous where I'm like, okay, I need to make this wedding count. And people in the industry were like, okay, they'll probably be saying, why is he nervous? But the reason why I'm nervous is I want to be kept on my toes at all times. Because if I'm too relaxed, if anyone's too relaxed, they'll be lazy, they won't over deliver. For me, I'm nervous because I want to make sure that this client would have the best wedding film in the world. Yeah. Like they would show this to all their friends, their family, potential clients. So I just want to make it happen and make it memorable. You're
focused.
Yeah, 100%. It does. It keeps me focused. If I'm like too relaxed, I've been in a situation where I'm too relaxed, I'm not creative. But if I'm on my toes, if I'm nervous, if I'm like sweating a bit, I'm like, oh, I'm there, I'm active, I'm doing what I can to create. And is that similar to your situation?
Oh, similar to quite a lot of people who do a good job, because what it is, if you were to meet me just on the shoot without the consultation, you would think I'm angry, because I'm so focused on what I need to deliver, how I kind of run things, that I know I've got, this shoot, I need to be quite quick, quite, swift with things. And then obviously I deliver great things, but when you see me at the shoot, you think like, is she angry with me? No, I'm just thinking what's gonna come next, how I can make this pose better. Same thing for you. I mean, same thing even for Sanjay, who's gonna be introduced here probably soon at the podcast. When you see him at the shoot, I mean, you've seen him, he looks fuming. Yeah, he just looks angry. But the moment you know how he operates, like he's not actually angry, he's thinking, the cogs are going, So,
I mean, that was the first time meeting Sanjay, and it was at a very difficult time because they're trying to talk to him, and then he just walked past me, and then after a bit, and then I think you mentioned to him, my team's trying to tell you something. Oh, sorry. Like I literally had a full-on conversation. He nods his head and he walks away. But again, in the creative industry, you need to be laser focused. Let's move on now to, like, we've talked about the past, we've talked about the present, so let's talk about the future. And before we do that, actually, I just want to touch upon a quote, very off topic, but it was said to me from a monk. So he said to me, "Tomorrow is a mystery, the past is history, but today is a gift. That's why they call it the present." So yeah, guys, have that free of charge. Let's talk about yourself in the next 5 years. So where do you see Maggie Robinson in the next 5 years?
I'm more of a 6 months ahead kind of planner, and that freaks everyone out because I kind of freestyle my future as I go along, I would say. But so far, I mean, business is going well, but I want to go back to a bit more teaching, I suppose. So just connected with a bit more traveling. My daughter's moving schools, so I might be changing location as well. So we'll see. Probably more focusing on teaching there.
Would you ever create like an online course?
I have an online course.
Okay, great. Can you tell us more about it?
I have an online course for about 3 years now. So the main one that we have, obviously I have a lot of different courses, but the main one is the sales one. So it's 8 hours pre-recorded content. Full process. If you were to say, I don't know how to sell, how do I make money at the end? I don't know how to take pictures. I'll take you from that point on to being a professional photographer, earning money from your craft without any extra skills. It's just actually putting in place what you already know, systemizing it. We have templates added, we have all sorts of recording in terms of how to sell, what phrases to use. I'll give my students full list of phrases that I use, and obviously some of them can be taken as cheesy, depends how you say it, but I use all of them pretty much in my sales process, and it works for years.
Let's talk about this new software that we spoke about briefly off camera on the Zoom call that you're promoting, because I'm really interested in the fact that this program isn't like Lightroom or any of the very popular programs. It's a lot more compact. I mean, looking at what you're presenting, I felt as though it's the future. Could you maybe like touch upon?
So software is something that I do like a bit of software talk. Back in 10 years ago, I developed software product. We developed an app to back up social media. So software is anything that's new and quite interesting. The one that you're referring to is Evoto. So for photographers who don't use Evoto yet, it's probably the best, if not the best, editing software created, because the company actually listens to feedback from everyone, applies it in real time pretty much. And for those of you who say at 3 a.m, I'm still editing, I've been editing for 7 hours, all this, that's history. So it's absolutely amazing. I know a lot of people say AI is going to take over our jobs, and at some point it will, but for now it actually gives us our time back. So it gives us the evenings back, we can spend it with the family. So what Evoto does, so you joined at the workshop that I was running last week, showing photographers how to speed up the workflow and how to sync settings for images to, let's say, 500-600 different images. For those of you who never use Evoto, I mean, Evoto is quite mainstream now, but for those of you who never heard of this, let's say you have a gallery of 200 photos. What Evoto does, it's going to call those photos to whatever number that you need, but then you edit just one photo and you can sync those settings throughout the whole gallery. You can pick one person and say, I actually want to have blue lips on them if you want to, and then that person, AI is going to read that person throughout the whole gallery and change and adjust. The skin is for batch editing of skin, batch editing of backdrops, for those of you who painted backdrops a lot in the studio. Really speeds up workflow. I can't explain how much of an important thing that is. This is not me trying to sell it. I absolutely love it. It's one of those bits of software that got invented, and it's actually useful, because there's obviously a lot of software out there that's not that useful. So this is pretty much the future of editing. There's a lot of different softwares that are coming out recently. One, I didn't speak to you about it yet. For those of you who send galleries, obviously we send galleries watermarked. Obviously I want you to all to do IPS, in-person sales, but if you do send galleries watermarked, AI now removes watermarks. You can actually hold an image with watermark, and that removes the watermark from the image, and then you save it without an image. It's mind-blowing. A lot of softwares now don't know what to do, because you send that gallery, clients steal the images, and you don't make any money. So there's actually a new app that came out this month. See, that was fresh. You're gonna learn something new today. New app that came out this month. It's called My Safe Frame Pro, I think, for Apple Store. And what it does, it shows you images without watermark, but they have a banking level of security coded into the app. You cannot take a screenshot of the image.
Nice.
So you see the image, parents don't complain about the fact that, the logo is over kids' eyes, can I see it, etc. You can zoom in, you can make it, bigger, but you cannot screenshot. The moment your clients, you send the gallery watermarked, and they feel like, oh my God, I'm getting it for free. So they try to screenshot it. The moment they screenshot that picture, it sends you notification, if you're an Apple, for example, saying your client was trying to nick your picture, or screenshot, for reference.
You know what to look out for.
Yeah, it's amazing. And clients also get the message, please do not screenshot, we don't allow screenshots. So that's another piece of software for photographers that's really, really good. Safe Frame Pro. But yes, a lot of different things are coming out. Evoto editing, I mean, it's the only thing pretty much that I can use moving forward. I used to work a lot in Photoshop. Photoshop is probably 5% now of what I do.
Wow.
So you can do everything else in Evoto.
So Evoto, if you're watching this, if ever you release a video editing software, you shout me straight away, because what you're providing for the photography side, it sounds really good.
They are editing videos as well, but they're getting into it now, so it's going to be much more featured soon. So
There you go. I need a new editing software. Premiere Pro keeps crashing on me every day. I'm cursing it with every single name under the tree. We've also, if you're watching this, there's a gap in the market. DaVinci is good, but there's also a gap in the market for video editing. Great. I mean, so I was going to talk about with photography. Okay, let's say you started again. You mentioned about capturing data and everything. What about in terms of gear? Let's talk about gear. So what do you mainly use?
The grammar of photography, all right? I don't care, but I mean, you've experienced working with me that I'm the least technical person on the planet. Yes, if I was a fisherman, I would probably catch fish with a stick and a rope. That's what we're referring to. I shoot with Canon 5 DSR, and it's a camera that's no longer even available for purchase. This is what we're talking about. It's got 50 million megapixels, and because I sell a lot of wall art, I always wanted to have a camera that captures every single detail. And I remember back in the day when I got it, the review said, please don't buy it if you shoot anything fast, because there's so much data to capture, it's always going to be blurry. I've got very steady hands, so this is not a problem. I don't shoot sports photography, I shoot pretty much babies that are asleep. So any image that I have, I can blow massive, and it's just so granular and so clean. But I could shoot with anything. It's not the gear, it's what you do in the studio. It's what you do with people, that's what they remember. And I mean, don't let gear stop you. And we always say, maximize the ability of your gear before you start buying new stuff, because otherwise you get into the habit of always wanting new phone, new gear, and then you don't even know what abilities the old camera had. So
amazing. Yeah, I mean, I was going to touch upon that as well. With being on social media, you're in the limelight of seeing everyone with the new kit, and I'm putting my hands up here because I've seen it.
You are that person.
I have gotten to that peer pressure where I've seen people buy new drones, people buy new microphones. I've got a set of microphones, but I bought another one anyway because people also bought it. And I'm looking at myself like, why have I just bought this, honestly? But guys, exactly what Maggie's saying. Use what you have. Like, you don't realize the power of your camera. You don't realize shooting in manual, it does a lot of the things. As long as it shoots 4K, if you're a videographer, as long as it shoots photos, high frame rate. Maggie uses a camera that doesn't exist, and she's still very successful. There you go, guys. I mean, if you're not motivated watching this, then I don't know what else would motivate you as a creative. So bear that in mind.
I mean, you do realize you can shoot 4K with phones now. This is scary, that is.
Exactly, yeah. And even cinema, cinema mode on iPhones, it was an A-log or something like that, which is
pretty amazing.
Crazy. How do you see the photography in the next upcoming years with AI being like, because I know with AI now you can generate images.
Yeah.
How would you see that in the next few years in terms of your job? Like, do you reckon it would impact it? Or?
This is when we're going to have to focus on providing that experience, because photographers are in top 20 professions that are going to disappear with AI. So what happens, there are places, I mean, there's the studio in Dubai now, so from what I've heard, you can walk in, there's no people servicing it, everything's automated. You can literally pick the pose that you want, you pose it, and it tells you every step of the way, and then you pick AI filter to edit your images, and at the end you've got everything done within an hour. So it's full process without actually human involvement, which is quite scary, because that's where we make a difference. Not the gear, not AI helps, but I'm here to capture the memories. I'm not here to reinvent them. And I always say that to clients, I want you to not only enjoy today, but obviously have those memories of your kids looking back that they look like your kids. So AI helps me, but I wouldn't reshape them to the point that it no longer look like themselves. So I use it sporadically to help me with work, but not to blur that line between the reality and the fantasy in a way.
Okay, great. Let's move on now to a bit of a touchy subject, something that I feel like you might like to share. Mistakes. So we all make mistakes, we're human. That's what makes us who we are. I mean, tell us the biggest mistake you made as a photographer, if you wanted to share it.
I don't really know. I mean, nothing that kind of strikes me as humongous mistake. The first 3 years I didn't collect data. I mean, that's obvious. So I'm thinking back, I should have, hundreds of people that I missed out on. Not keeping in touch with clients because you're preoccupied. That's something, every year I used to send clients cards. Doesn't matter how many clients you've got, Christmas cards. And I think there were 2 years that I just got slightly lazy, and I thought, it's fine, I'm busy. And those little things, when you start dropping on the little things, then you start dropping on the bigger things.
Yes.
So always keep yourself in check in terms of providing that 100% service that you want. Tick all the boxes. If that's what you do as standard, do it as standard. Don't let it slip. Certain things, like I used to give clients chocolates after the session, and then I had a few months when I thought like, I'll get them at some point, and you forget, and then you start becoming just like everyone else. Also, don't try to become just like everyone else just because everyone's shooting the same thing and you think, that works for someone else, I'll shoot the same thing. One of the biggest thing, not mistake that I've made, that I see it done quite a lot. Photographers get hung up on the style. And they say, this is how I shoot. If you want something else, go somewhere else. So I always say, I have no style. My style is the style of my clients. So if you come to me and say what you would like to do, if I can make it happen, I'll make it happen for you. And that's quite controversial because a lot of people say people come to me for the photography that I do, which is fine, but some people will just want photography. And they'll need someone with the skills to make something happen. Or they want something so specific, there are no photographers that specifically shoot that within the area. So just working on your skills to the point that you can provide that variety of different services as such. As much as the niching down was the thing, niching down is all well and good, it's got its place in the world, but you need to have ability to provide to your clients requirements, and that's where the money comes in.
Great, and I just wanna touch up on that, guys. If you're watching this, one thing I really liked what Maggie mentioned was nothing to do with her gear, nothing to do with the actual materials that she's used to create the content, but it's actually the journey of the customer, the journey of the clientele. That is the most important thing. If you're making minor mistakes when you're doing the journey of the customer, that would then create major things in the future. So bear that in mind, guys. I mean, it's not always about your equipment. Have that, as concrete. Have that as with every session you do. But then also think about the journey of the client and the process. If we were talking about it off topic as well, off camera, about. Was it off camera? Was it off camera?
Have the care, because sometimes, obviously we have so much going on. And as photographers, we're humans first. So obviously you're going to have your stresses. Someone's ill in the family, kids did this and that and the other. When you come to the studio, I always say, do that little pink thing when they teach you in yoga, wrap yourself in a bubble. Your problems are your problems. Don't spread your problems onto your clients, because there's a lot of professionals these days that treat clients like the therapy, and they talk about their lives and they pour all the problems out. Client doesn't pay you to listen to your stuff. No, they pay you so they can burden you with their stuff as such, almost. So just make sure you stay professional and don't let your mood affect your session as well. And it's really hard. It's easier said than done, but especially with pressure photographers there these days, it's really hard to get new business. Everyone's stressed, everyone's got their bills, but don't let that desperation seep onto the session.
I'm very glad you mentioned that, because I made one major mistake this year. I damaged my 24 to 70mm lens, that was on a wedding. What happened was, it was on that tripod there, the one that's pointed to you, and with that tripod, how it happened was my nephew saw let me just quickly break it down for the viewers and for Maggie as well. So we were shooting a Barat ceremony, and in the ceremony we were capturing the bride side of the family, and the groom side we were capturing the groom side, and the bride side hired another team of photographers and videographers. So we were clashing. And while we were eating,
that was her mistake, by the way.
Well, exactly. Possibly, yeah. But while we were eating, my nephew pointed out that one of the photographers was screwing something on my tripod. Well, we found out he unscrewed a leg, so it was loose. I didn't realize. Obviously, you'd use the tripod. It worked okay for the day, but the next day we had another function, and the tripod did not work at all. When I say it did not work, we mounted the R3 on the tripod, and it literally, after about we literally just left it there, ready for the stage photos. Gradually, just lost balance and fell, and we saw it. Like, how you're watching something and you're seeing it.
Slow motion.
It was in slow motion, yeah, exactly. And I had my 24 to 70mm on there, and I saw it right in front of me, just hit the floor, and it was damaged. Didn't turn on whatsoever. I could have then given up and mentioned to the client that, my camera's damaged, but they don't care.
They don't care.
They paid for our services. They paid for their wedding. They paid thousands of pounds for their wedding film. The last thing they want is for you to say to them, okay, I can't take photos. So again, problem solving, quick initiative. I had to change lens. We had to do things a bit differently, but we got it done. I didn't use the 24 to 70. I just used movie cropping on the 15 to 35, but it still worked out.
One thing that we need to realize as photographers as well, clients, doesn't matter how bad the family is, the kids are, their family during the wedding or during a shoot, if something doesn't go right, they will always blame us. We are the low-hanging fruit. So that's why when you do that proper consultation and get that banter going from the get-go, you can almost get away with a bit more at the end, because you have more leeway, because they got to know you as a person. If you don't have that connection with the client, things like this happen, they will always blame you. Oh, you've missed a shot because your lens, dropped, and it's your. It doesn't matter that you lost $2.5 grand worth of lens. because you've missed a shot, and this is what matters to them. So people care less and less about other people, which is quite sad. But at the end of the day, we still need to stay professional and make sure that this is their day and they are the happiest they can be, and they can provide that experience.
I mean, bless them, they did ask me, they goes, is your camera okay? Because it was right in the middle of the stage. Everyone saw it. And I was like, I'll just give them a thumbs up.
I'll add it to the bill.
Well, yeah, pretty much. I just gave them a thumbs up. I'm like, guys, it's okay. Camera's running okay. Don't worry about it. And I was, in my head, I was like, wow, I can't shoot. I literally, what do I do? But AI, I use ChatGPT. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I use ChatGPT, and it did suggest enable movie cropping, use 15-35. It gave me more of a zoom in lens, and I covered everything with the gifs of the stage and all that jazz. But that's one of the biggest mistakes. Well, it would be a mistake, but going back to it, working with other photographers, videographers, a lot of the times they don't want to see you successful. And it's a bit of a shame. It's a bit of a shame, because my nephew did point out that he had an Allen key and he was there just messing about with the tripod, and he pointed out who he were to me, and I didn't expect it, because he was really nice to me on the day. But then again, you don't know what people's intentions are, and especially me being a young lad in the industry, they think that you
want to see the best in people.
Yeah, exactly. And he thinks that I'm going to take away his trade, and a lot of people have that jealousy as well that I've experienced in the industry. But then again, haters are my motivators.
It's, I always said it's quite an interesting topic, because that's a personality thing, and you almost cannot fix someone's personality. But for example, in our area here, there's a lot of photographers that are trained within our area, and this is quite something that people don't do, trainers don't do. They have the 50-mile radius. I don't want to make anyone in my area better. Do you know what? I'm quite happy that they're better, because standard raises overall, and I hope that the prices are going to, go up as well. And sometimes I need a prop or an outfit or something, and I can reach out to them because I know we have a good month and we have a good collection. If something happens, they run out of paper, they can call and come pick it up. Use my studio if you want to, if there's any problems. Some of them go on maternity breaks, and we can, swap clients and things like this. So I would say within the area we built quite a good network of photographers, but I've seen the other side of this. I've seen photographers when they, on purpose, they click on Google Ads to, load you with cost for advertising, so your business tanks. It's silly, it's toxic, it makes you feel bad about what you do. I mean, I would like to think when they do it, they don't feel particularly good about themselves. And also how insecure are you about the quality of your work that you have to do it? Exactly. Why don't you get better? And I always say, when trainers come to me for training and they said, do you actually teach other teachers? I said, yeah, I'll teach you, because if you get better than me, that's a sign for me to push myself further.
Definitely, yeah.
Because then that motivates me to actually try hard, as opposed to sit there and just do what I do day in, day out.
That mindset of sabotaging other people's, it falls back on them. They're not happy with what they're producing, and it's just a sad reality where they try and, especially online on the social media, they slate your name, and they try and increase the charges on Google. I didn't know that existed, by the way.
Oh, it's the thing.
I'm not like I'm going to try it, but not giving you guys any ideas, but I didn't know.
We will find you. We'll find your IP number.
But no, honestly, guys, it's a bit of a sad reality, but I wouldn't put you guys off, because overall the experience is amazing as well. Seeing the client's face when you give them the final product, the smile that they have, the joy that you have filming it, and just making a connection. Because a lot of the times there's a saying as well that sometimes your client is a lot more of a friend than your friends are.
100%.
Your clients will tell you how it is rather than your friends, and that's just the reality behind it. And
well, we had a situation, I mean, it's kind of digressing from what we do, but clients obviously being pregnant, stressful time of their lives. And I had a mum years ago who had baby prematurely. She had to be in hospital quite a lot, and she lost her job because she wasn't at work as often as they wanted her to, because she had to attend hospital meetings. And I reached out to her, I said, how are you doing? How's everything? Not buy more photos or anything, it's just how are you as a human, what's your day been like? I know you had stress with work. And her husband thought, you know what, this is so nice that you've done it. And I was actually building my studio at that time, and he said to me, as a company, what we do, we do woodwork. So I'm gonna offer you woodwork for your studio without any cost, because you were nice to my wife. So, little things that people notice. I don't do it because I want to have someone kit out my studio. I do it because I know she was stressed. So those little human touches, that's something that competition is not going to copy if they're not that kind of person. So that's going to make you stand out, hopefully.
100%, yeah. Being you as well, being a true human. Don't see it as a number, like we mentioned before. Try and actually care more about your client. put yourself in their shoes and give a bit more care. And I feel like if you do that, you will definitely see, like clients reinvesting in your business, and word of mouth is amazing. It can also be, it can also be really bad against you, but if you're doing the right things, so massive in your company. But Maggie, we're coming on to the end of the podcast. It's a bit of a shame. It's a shame that these podcasts don't go on for 4 hours, because 4 hours would have been a good shout. But let's talk about the final messages. What sort of final things would you say to the viewers that are watching this? What can they what can they take from watching this podcast, and any final tips that you can give?
Be a good person, and don't think photography is just taking pictures. It's 5%. If you take photos, record videos, it's 5%. If you're not ready to do all the other 95, the marketing, the chasing clients, the picking up the phone, I hate picking up the phone, but it's one of those things that you still need to do. The emailing, the workflows, the marketing, the branding, it's not the job you want to do, because photography is genuinely the doing of the doing. Very little. It's very little. So I think that's the realization we don't have when we start. Self-employment in general, it's not just photography, any self-employed job, but when we start and we love creating content, and then you realize, hold on a minute, what am I going to do with this content? I need to create a YouTube channel. Well, that's marketing. And how do I go about YouTube channel? How I go about, subscriptions and things like this. So there's so much. And if you're not into personal development, if you don't want to push yourself, you'll struggle. So make sure you have that mindset. Mindset. It's not something that you can wake up with, but you need to be aware that you do need to have growth mindset in order to survive in this industry, because it is cutthroat, it is creative. People don't make killing creative industries. But when you do all those things, you do the marketing, you do the sales, you care for the client, you provide good images, good videos. It's the best job that you can do. It's the most fulfilling job. You actually don't dread going to work every day. You enjoy it. It gives you energy to interact with people, as opposed to drain the energy. After a session, I feel like I had 5 coffees. I feel energetic. I actually want to do stuff because I had good clients, we had good banter. If you like people, great job. It's absolutely, I wouldn't swap it for anything. It's not easy, but if you enjoy interactions with people and you're not a complete hermit, best job ever.
Great. Thank you very much, Maggie. I mean, just a final thing as well. Where can we find you? What is
for training? TOG Academy, togacademy.com. For studio, dinkyfeet.com. Everything's on there. I've got full description of everything, whether it's training or studio, pricing, mentoring, all sorts. I do one-to-ones, I do workshops. I've got a workshop coming up in January. I don't know when this podcast is coming out, but end of January, I've got family posing workshop in London. Then I'm in Norway end of January for a week. For those of you, if anyone listens from Norway, I will be teaching business there. Quite a lot going on this year. So keep in touch via Facebook groups, Facebook pages for TOG Academy and Dinky Feet, and you'll know everything.
Great, and everything what Maggie's mentioned will be in the description. I'll get the information off you. It will be in the description. If you have any questions, drop a comment down below or reach out to Maggie directly on her socials. Guys, it's been great. Maggie, it's been great.
Thank you so much.
Make sure you like.
Don't click on my Google ads.
Make sure you like, subscribe, and share it out to a friend that is that's wanting to get into the photography game. And also, guys, make sure you subscribe to TENET Talks. We will be posting more podcasts within 2026. Got a ton of guests lined up, thanks to people in my network. Thank you, Maggie. Shout out to you. But yeah, take care, guys. Stay safe and
thank you.
Wash your hands. That's great. Spot on.